Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm the Gerbil, and it is August 24, actually, and this is a viewer question and answer, number 17. There's a lot of them, so let's get started. Remember, these are your questions. If you want to ask one, pop into my Discord and drop me an @message in the Ask Gerbil. I am not a huge Discord social media kind of guy other than YouTube, so I will get back to you eventually. But yeah, here we go. Question number 1. Hey, Gerbil, I really enjoyed your last farming guide. It's been about a year, by the way. But as it was over a year ago, I was wondering, you were wondering, Whitley, would I be open to making another one that incorporates more of the newer changes within the game? I would really appreciate this, and I'm sure others would be as well. It's funny you mentioned that. You're probably like one of 12 people this week alone who have asked me. I guess hitting that 1 year mark really, well, brought up reminders of it or something, and maybe it's time. I think I'll consider doing that. But does my overall fundamental strategy or my personal path of progression in the game change from a year ago? Not so much. I do think that probably the best beginning overall team remains Phoenix. The addition of Captain Rex makes it really, really viable at all levels in the game. Phoenix kind of takes you naturally into Rebels, CLS, which kind of takes you into Rogue One, which takes you into Profundity, and on that pathway you will wind up getting GL Leia, and the next logical progression would be Jedi Knight Luke, who just happens to take you into Jedi Master Luke. And I think that this is just like a fabulous introductory trajectory to 2 GLs. You can do it, I don't want to say quickly, but you can do it really efficiently. My alt account is pushing 5 million, and I'm just about to unlock my 4th GL. I went straight into this. I've got Leia, Slicker, Rey, which was a sidetrack. Thank you, Lightspeed Bundles. And then now I'm about to get Jedi Master Luke in the next week or two. I know, C's over there like, that's crazy. People used to recommend him sometimes as the first GL, him or Slicker. Depends, right? Lightspeed Bundles changed the whole game, and there are, of course, many avenues to take. So, yeah, I'll consider that. Hey, can a Relic 7 Queen Amidala with Relic 9 Padawan Obi-Wan and Relic 9 Master Qui-Gon beat a Bastila Shan Jedi Master Luke Watt team in 3v3 GAC no Datacron? Thanks in advance. My gut instinct is yes, because if I can recall correctly, one of them, and maybe it's even Luke, Padawan Obi-Wan, one of them can ignore protection, I think. They have like repost or something, and that bypasses, because you bypass the protection, it just goes under Bastila's protection up. So my gut instinct is, yeah, absolutely, I think it should be able to. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Bastila Watt Jedi Master Luke, the thing is that combination, you get the armor attack on Jedi Master Luke, and then Bastila Shan just does Bastila Shan leadership shenanigans, and then Luke becomes almost unbeatable by a lot of teams. My go-to on this one is actually Sith Eternal. What you do is you link 2 characters, then you just hit auto basic and you go take a pee-pee break. You come back at about 3 to 4 minutes in the game, you ultimate and you win, basically. Because what happens is whenever a deceived or linked enemy uses an ability, Sith Emperor gains 10% stacking mastery. So you've got 3 to 4 minutes of just stacking his mastery level up, so that when he ultimates, I think his mastery then gets doubled, and he just hits for insane amounts of damage, right? The ultimate, of course, will kill Shan and Watt, leaving you just C versus Luke. And then you just hit automatic, not basic, but just full auto, and before you know it, Sith Emperor is going to be like basicing for like 180, 200,000 damage, and you will kill Jedi Master Luke. That's my go-to. All right, this one comes to us from Kami. Hey, Kami, what's up? Love listening to my data-backed speculations. Ooh, I like making those. Do you think a squadron would be a viable alternative to a capital ship, something acting just like a capital ship, but the gimmick being that it's immune to all capital ship effects, like Leviathan's takeover, etc.? It's that's actually something I've been talking about. I just recently did a video with Nooch, and then about 2 weeks before that, I did a video like, where's the capital ship? Like, where is the 2024 capital ship? We don't have one. There's only been 2 ships introduced all in the last 13 months, that being Marauder and Comeuppance, and they're both lifters. So if we speculate on that, then yeah, we've got a pattern in the last year of lifting. But sincerely, there's just a dearth of ships right now, and there are so many that they could bring to the game. With Luthen Rail coming, the most obvious likely next ship would be Luthen's ship from the Andor series, which was amazing, and it would absolutely be a Rebel lifter. Now, Profundity certainly does not need a lifter, which means it would likely go to Home 1, which is one of the original trilogy trios from the game, that being Home 1, Endurance, and Tarkin. Now, I think that another possibility, of course, is the elusive Red 5 that CG's been teasing us with off and on for the last couple years. But it makes sense to me that at this stage in the game, that Home 1 and Endurance, they kind of need some love. Marauder was advertised to go with Endurance, but clearly it did not. So Home 1 is the one that hasn't gotten a lifter in about 2 years. Raven's Claw was good, but nobody learned how to use Raven's Claw except for a few people, and it really is a great ship, but it takes practice. So yeah, I think that going forward, it's more likely, I think we're going to get lifting units for a couple of fleets rather than a whole new fleet. Gating a meta Home 1 behind Luthen and then Luthen's ship, and then maybe another like Galactic Legend style release for Red 5 would have the same net effect in terms of revenue and complexity of unlocking as would a whole new fleet. And so that would like check off Capital Gains' objectives of, making money while making it difficult on the player base, which is of course what keeps us all chugging along. So yeah, I think that's very, very possible, and I actually expect that going forward. I did think we would get the Resolute or the Invisible Hand, or maybe even a Trade Federation fleet. But yeah, it seems like none of that's coming to pass. Hey, from Gaz, he says that he's going to be ready to unlock Profundity within a month. Congratulations. Are the unlock requirements enough to make the fleet effective? The answer is actually yes. Profundity is one of those really cool fleets that even at 4 stars, it's quite usable. At 4 stars, if I recall, you can still beat a 7-star Executor. I'm pretty sure you can. I think like day 1, if you've got the minimum requirements, you should be able to hit Arena on the ground running. Of course, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. The more you upgrade the ships, the better they get. But another cool thing about Profundity is you only need 3 ships. You do not need any reinforcements. And you can make the argument that you don't even need Hans Millennium Falcon. You can do it with Ghost, but it's a bit scarier. So these 3 ships, Wide Ring, Outrider, Falcon, is all you need, which is awesome because there's only 3 pilots, not including Radis, which would make the 4th. But to unlock Profundity, he's got to be R9 already. So the only other 3 to really consider is Dash, Han, and Chewie. And at Relic 7, those ships are all doing what they need to do. And I think, like, realistically, Han and Chewie should be Relic 7 anyway. That's just like CLS is just such an amazing squad. You want those 2 punching as hard as possible. So yeah, enjoy your new shiny toy. It's fantastic. From Catholocket, I still struggle to say that name. Not entirely sure how to pronounce, but I think we're gonna actually chat later about your mods. So cool. It says, from my Profundity-focused new player guide, yep, see, we're right back to that, where I take you through the Home 1 route with Raven's Claw, would the Y-Wing be a better option than Biggs? And the answer is unequivocally no. Hands down, no. No, 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 no. Because the Raven's Claw and the whole fleet work on spreading target lock and foresight. See, whenever an enemy is target locked, an ally gains foresight. When an ally has foresight, they ignore taunt. And when you have foresight, of course, you can't be hit. So you want to target lock as much as possible. You want to attack out of turns as much as possible so the Home 1 puts protection up on you. And between the protection up and the foresight, you don't die. Like, that's literally how you stay alive. So what happens is Biggs is basic, has a target lock, inflicts target lock. You need that happening. So the Raven's Claw, if he's attacking a target locked ship, he's going to call a random ally to attack. hopefully Biggs. Biggs attacks, he target locks, which gives himself taunt, which triggers foresight on an ally, so that you just continuously repeat the looping process. Now, if you're running the Falcon in there, I recommend it as a first reinforcement. When the Falcon comes in, all rebels assist, which is cool, but on its basic also, it says inflict target lock. So you've got a target lock mechanic on basic on 2 different ships, which is triggering the Raven's Claw's spreading of the foresight. The Y-Wing doesn't do any of that. It doesn't have a foresight synergy. It doesn't have a target lock synergy. It really breaks down the Raven's Claw mechanics, and it's just a lot less reliable. Its call to fame is that it can heal the team, but the Falcon can heal itself, Home 1 can heal you, and every attack out of turn provides you, I think, 40% protection up, so that's what you want. You want assists from the Falcon's basic, you want assists from the Raven's Claw's basic, you want Biston to go first and target lock somebody. That's it. That's it. But like fundamentally new, the Y-Ring just does not work in replacement to Biggs. It is unfortunate because you got to relic up Biggs. Yeah, I know. I hit the wrong direction. I'm still going the wrong direction. Let's go forward. Forward, not backwards. We're not going backwards. Goths. As the Omicron Princess Leia guy, sweet, in experimenting with putting her in with GL Leia, with her Omicron. So just so you can see down below here, while in Grand Arena, whenever Leia attacks, she has a 55% chance to grant all Rebel allies retribution. GL Leia already does that with her basic, but it's nice to keep spreading that around, and has a 55% chance to grant all Rebel allies tenacity up for 2 turns, which is, of course, amazing, right? You don't want to get debuffed. And all other Rebel allies recover 5% health and protection. Now, Princess Leia can triple tap. She often will triple tap, especially under GL Leia, because her critical chance is so high. She's going to crit chance, or she's going to triple tap, which means that every time she attacks, there is a good possibility she's going to heal your entire team 15% health and 15% protection. I have experimented with that. I have not been blown away with it. I still think that she needs to be mirrored very much with Admiral Akbar. And last week, in the first week of 5v5, only one person attacked the team. I had Akbar, Han, Leia, Chupio, C-3PO, and they attacked it with Jedi Knight Luke Relic 9 with Jedi Knight Cal Kestis there, right? It's like, I'll take that as a win, because if they have to throw a GL to take down an Akbar, it's like, that's a win as far as I'm concerned. Now, they did beat it, but they did not win the war. That was their only attack. So I don't know. Maybe that's because they didn't have time. Maybe it's because they felt this was like the best way to beat it, and then they're like, oh snap, how do I beat all these other things minus one more GL? I don't know. I have no idea, but they were the only person who attacked it. Now this week I'm running Akbar, Han, Leia with Mon Mothma, and I think that's Scout Trooper. Why? Because there is an insane amount of turn meter here. Scout Trooper's going to give turn meter to the entire team. Mon Mothma has 3 non-attacking moves, which will trigger Akbar, so that we'll get 2 assists out of every one of her turns. Leia, of course, has a non-attacking, and she's got the Omicron. Akbar has turn meter gain on basic. Stormtrooper Han has turn meter gain on basic. Mon Mothma, I think, has turn meter gain on basic. I don't remember. And then so does the Hoth Scout, or whoever that is. And then with the level 9 Stormtrooper Kron, we're going to get even more turn meter out of him, plus his turn meter gain when he takes damage, and his spreading and turn meter, whatever. I don't even know. There is a crap ton of turn meter gain and a lot of assists there. And then, yeah, I'm hoping that between the revives, the assists, the Omicrons, I'm hoping to see some fun shenanigans. We'll see how that plays out. Captain Spock. How good is the Grand Inquisitor lead without Reva in Conquest? Not as good as with Reva, but if you come across Zealous Ambition, multiple Zealous Ambitions, the team still dominates. It's slower than the Ampliagni with the other one. I'm losing my mind. Volatile Accelerator. But what happens is you put in 2 or 3 of these, and then every single turn when Seven Sister assists, she deletes. Right? She starts basicking on her assists for 200,000-300,000 damage. So GI takes a turn, Seven Sister assists, kills somebody. And then Fifth Brother's AoE, he's a support unit, so he starts doing the same thing. His AoE just hits the board and wipes them all out. So if you can stack up 3 Zealous Ambitions, those 2 characters wreck. It's amazing. All right, the next question is super, super important. Schwa Jackson asks us, the Ewoks have invaded Mario Kart 8. Which cars do they choose? Well, naturally, Chirpa's going to take one of the Mario Karts because he's a leader and leaders want the best. Nisa's going to go for the stereotypical pink over there, the purple pink from the Ghost. And, well, of course, Poplu the tank is going to go for Baltz's because if it can chug along with Baltz's weight, then it can chug along just fine with his beefy butt. All right. All in all, here's where they're going to go. And I think that makes perfect sense. For some reason, Tebow in a shoe, just like, I can see that. I can totally see that. Wolfpack 104. I know it's pretty random, but can I do a GL ranking by just my favorites of the GLs? Yeah, well, basically left to right. This is my preference of GL, not in terms of unlocking, but in terms of like game viability and like playability to me. Jedi Master Luke, his inherited teaching mechanic is I think it is the #1 single most important GL mechanic in the game, because in Conquest and in many other places of the game, like especially in Conquest, where you need 35 kills with a character. If he can do the inherited teaching and just pass it over, they attack and do true damage equal to 60% of his max protection. So you mod him for like 150,000 protection, which means that those assists and every character, every ally in the game, or every Jedi ally, or even light, I don't know if it's Jedi or light side, can trigger that. So like when you need 35 Cal Kestis attacks, he takes a turn, Jedi Knight Cal attacks for like 100,000 damage. Yoda takes a turn, Cal attacks for 100,000 damage. Jedi Knight Luke takes a turn, Cal attacks for 100,000 damage. It's a great cheese that you can just rack up those kills. You can almost guarantee all 5 enemy kills with one specific character every match, right? So that is hugely important. He's also just a really, really good all-round GL. He can beat most GLs. He defends well. Not so Kyber level, right? Kyber level, he does not defend well, but early game, mid game, he defends very, very, very well. He's got so many pairing opportunities. Being a Jedi, it's one of the biggest factions. You can put almost anybody with him, so it's great. Leia, well, you get an Omicron a month with indoor escalation, but Leia is one of the easiest to unlock in the game. Yeah, seriously, I think she is, not including Lightspeed bundles. And Leia just takes you directly logically into unlocking Luke next. Jabba the Hutt gives you the Smuggler's Run 2 event, which is probably the best event, single little event in the game, because you get 40 of those attenuator upgrades for your mods per event, and you get to run it twice. And then, of course, you get all the mod upgrade abilities. You get 2 full 6-stop mods plus, I think, a total of 80 attenuators or whatever. It's great. Now, the rest of these people, like, they all have their purposes, and I'm just all the way over to Lord Vader. I'm just very bearish on him. I think that's the right one. Bull Bear, I think it's bearish. I don't like Lord Vader. I don't like the character. I didn't like him in the movies. I know I'm one of those oddballs. I just feel that Anakin was a whiny, spoiled brat who from day one exemplified that he was going to be a nightmare for the Jedi and the galaxy, and nobody saw it. I mean, how many times did he break the rules and throw a temper tantrum and do something absolutely creepy, and everybody's just like, oh, well, that's just Anakin. I know he was supposed to be that way, but I didn't like it. Sorry, folks. I'm really sorry. This is the truth. So I'm biased. Hey, Bobby Bucket says, do I think that PvP game modes like GAC and Territory War will change in the near future? Oh my God, I hope so. I so hope so. Territory Wars is just dull. It is monotonous. The rewards are not worth it other than the Relic 8 materials. It is just dull. What I would love to see is a revised Territory War that includes space battles where you actually, first off, it's multi-guild, right? So like 4 or 5 guilds are on a map. You deploy an initial defense like you would in Territory Wars. Then you attach your remaining fleet units to a fleet, to a ship. That ship then has to transit to an enemy territory. You have to defeat the air defenses first, then deploy to the ground. If you lose your assault, if that fleet gets wiped, the characters on it get wiped. Wouldn't that suck? But that would really be a lot of fun. Put more emphasis on fleets. I know. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Then you attack the ground. You attack the territory. You defeat the territory. Only the characters that survive then become the defense of that new territory. Now it'd be a multi-day event also. So then the other guilds could counterattack or whatever. And there may be some intra-guild or guild alliances happening, like, hey, you up there, we won't touch you until at least day 4 or something. I don't know. I could see a lot of fun happening. It would get really, really cool. It might put a little bit more burden on guild officers, which I kind of hate to say that, because then they might be reaching out to other guilds being like, hey, this is guild whatever over here. And then of course guild alliances as they already stand would have an advantage. So I could see why CG might not necessarily want to do this, but it would be a lot of fun. I mean, I think it could be so much fun. You could attack planets that have maybe planet modifiers like Kashyyyk. Wookiees have, plus 200% defense or plus 50% evasion. You attack Endor, and then Ewoks gain stealth at the start of their turn. Take your pick, right? Hoth, then stormtroopers and rebel Hoth troopers, are immune to frostbite that everybody else receives as a debuff. I think it could be really, really, really fun. It'd be really, really fun. But oh no, I don't think it's going to happen. Sorry. Yeah. Hey, the Freddy asks, just watched my video about fleets, enjoying it. Thank you. Cool. However, as much as you don't like Levy mirror matches either, you gave up on them. Instead, you've been exploring Chimera versus Leviathan. Yes, it is a pretty reliable counter. I've actually done it 5 or 6 times myself. I've not had super great consistency with it. I really appreciate the share just for everyone else out there. I don't know if this is the most common counter. I think it is, but yeah, you can totally drop Leviathan with Chimera, TIE Fighter, Scythe, etc. If you go over to SWGOH.gg, you can get a lot more information about it. There's some fleet meta information. You can check it out. And yeah, it's a little bit more fun for sure, because Leviathan mirror matches, I think, are just boring. It's not even that they're high probability of losing if you don't know what you're doing, which there is. You can get it down to a 99% win rate, and I think I'm almost there. It's just boring to me. It's not enjoyable, and this is a game. Chugging along here, Mushi Sagara says, what should be the home for Padawan, Obi, and Master Qui-Gon before you unlock Queen Amidala? That's really, really debatable. My go-to would be a Keller and Beck team or a Qui-Gon Jinn team, because they're both Galactic Republic Jedi. I think you can't really go wrong with either of them. I definitely throw Cam in there, because Cam just adds so much more offensive power to the whole team. But really, they're just fabulous characters. You could even put them on an OG Padme team. I don't think you can really go wrong with them. You gear them up, you relic them, you try to get them as high as you can for their assault battle, and you just kind of have fun with them, right? I would put them on defense more so than offense, just because they're still such a new character and a variable that a lot of people don't know what to do yet when they engage them. So yeah, that's where I'd run. How do you utilize Jedi after unlocking and gearing Jedi Master Luke? Would love to be able to get 2 decent teams. There are so many ways that you can distribute Jedi, but looking at your roster here, I would put them as follows: Jedi Master Luke with Revan, Jedi Knight Luke, Grandmaster Yoda, and Hermit Yoda. Yep, that would be the standard 5. Then I would build a Qui-Gon Jinn Omicron team. And I would use Jedi Knight Anakin, who you still have at gear 12, so I would raise him up, which is going to be good for your fleet, Negotiator. Snips, of course, for Negotiator as well. Luminara and General Kenobi for Negotiator. So that builds you out a fleet team as well. After that, let's see here. What do we got next? We've got from Hobai. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce that one. I'm going with a kind of a Chinese spelling. In your farming priority video, once again, you did not consider assault battles as a reason to farm a character for a squad. How much of a priority would I put on the new Padawan Master Qui-Gon priority assault battle? And the answer to that is very, very high. Because both of the characters are 10 energy cantina farms, you can unlock them both very, very quickly. Honestly, you should be able to unlock them very quickly. Like 1 month, both of them 7 stars, probably even faster. Now, the downside to that, is they both need 400 Chirotech. And that Chirotech is expensive. It really sucks. So that's going to be your problem. But I definitely would. I mean, this assault battle alone gives you like, I don't remember, 20 plus million credits. Even for a new game player, you want that. You want those first 3 tiers. You don't even have to get these guys up past like gear 12 or anything like that. You just need to like get them 7-starred and get those credits in the beginning. As an early game player, that's huge. Very, very big. From J Blah, once the GL Ahsoka has come and gone, who could possibly be the next Galactic legend? Where are we going after Ahsoka? I don't know. But I'm 100% sure it's Grand Admiral Thrawn. 100% sure. Now, we haven't seen Ahsoka Season 2, and I don't want to give any spoilers away, but this guy is literally just arriving back in Galaxy. And he's a big deal. Thrawn is a huge deal. In the expanded galaxy, he's huge. If you haven't read the comics or the novels or watched Clone Wars or the Rebels series or any of the expanded universe stuff, Thrawn is huge. And that's why there's so much fanfare among a lot of the deepest, most loyal fans that we finally got him. All right, so that's where we're going. Given the already steep requirements for GL Ahsoka, do you think that mid-game players should be chasing her? And the answer is no. No, we are likely to have 4 Relic 9s. Seriously, 3 I think is a guarantee. 4 is very likely. So, yeah, beyond the Relic 9s, there are already 3 marquees that are not accelerated, and they're all super high Kyro required. Super high Kyro required. So it's going to be hard. For the next video, maybe a Jedi team comp varies tremendously depending on player level. Could I give a few strategies for reasonable Jedi team comps? Well, there are a lot of different ways to arrange your Jedi. And I know you said Cam doesn't make the list for early game, but with the newly released Cam Lightspeed bundle, Cam's definitely going to make the list as a possibility for newer, younger accounts. I mean, sincerely, I think that was just an absolute money grab. I wouldn't be surprised if Capital Games pulled in a cool $200,000 to $400,000, maybe $500,000 off that one Lightspeed bundle, because Cam is incredibly hard to unlock for newer players, especially those who join guilds that skip light side Geo battle or whatever, if it was light or dark side. But just if he's skipping the Geo battles and going straight into Rise of the Empire, Cam becomes almost impossible. It's nuts. I just unlocked on my main at 12 million GP. I just unlocked Cam like 2 months ago and got him up to Relic 7. So I'm happy that other people don't have to go through what I did. Now, there are many well-established Jedi teams. There are many ways that you can rearrange these. So here I've just listed 5 that I think are quite common based on different levels of the game. Qui-Gon Jinn Omicron with Jedi Knight Anakin, Ahsoka, Mace, or General Kenobi, Barriss with Grandmaster Yoda or Cam. Like, swap these out. They're very much interchangeably. And this is like, I'm thinking like more youngish to mid-level gameplay. If you're going to go for Revan, who I'm at 5 million on my alt, and I have no ambition of unlocking Revan. I don't think Revan is actually that important anymore in the big picture, sorry. But Basil Shan Lee, General Kenobi, Grandmaster Yoda, he's just like a staple. If you're going to go Jedi Knight Luke, and I think you should, Hermit Yoda Shaak Ti, you need that initial speed boost to trigger his special mechanic where it drops all the enemy speeds to his base speed. And then I would throw in the Padawan Master Qui-Gons because you need them for those assault battles. Gear them up now, and I'd probably put them in Jedi Knight Luke if you're going to go that route, early mid-game. Beck, I mean, again, it's hard to go wrong. Jedi Knight Anakin, Grandmaster Yoda, Mace Cam, and then there's a Lightspeed Qui-Gon team right there where you can just go straight up with the Lightspeed bundle characters, Plo Luminara Anakin, who you still gonna have to gear up. You need his attacking power, and then you could go with Kit as a 5th, but Kit kind of sucks. If you're gonna buy the Lightspeed bundle, just buy the other one also and put in Cam. Now, these are not the optimal teams. I'm telling you, they are not the 100% optimal teams. These are just some variations, but they're all good. I mean, you really just can't go wrong early to early mid game with any of these combinations. You can take almost any leftover Jedi early game and put them under a Qui-Gon Jinn Omicron with Jedi Knight Anakin and do some serious smash damage on either offense or defense. It's fantastic. From Mushi Cigar again, how does my crazy farm, once again, new player guide change with the new player experience? Kind of as I said before, I think that the fundamentally it stays the same. Back in the day, I recommended Inquisitors as a side farm. I would certainly change that at this point. I would not recommend Inquisitors as a side farm. I would shift that side farm to Padawan Obi-Wan Master Qui-Gon. And then I would probably make that a Qui-Gon Jinn Omicron side farm. Because that way you have a Jedi team, you have a solid assault battle to help give you credits and build up for that. Specifically, you're talking about ships being difficult. Where are you getting all the credits for that? Well, you're going to have to use some of your raid currency in the store 4 times a day. There's an opportunity to get, I think it's 500,000 or 250,000 ship credits. And then you compound that with the 4 days a week that it rotates as free ship credits in the ship mission, whatever event that is. I don't remember what they call that thing. Daily challenge. Combined with other sources, yeah, you definitely should get enough ship credits. The thing is, you have to be focused. You cannot just go in and level up every ship. If you're leveling up everything when you unlock it, you are wasting a lot of currency and you're inflating your account unnecessarily. It doesn't actually affect the game anymore, and your guild might appreciate it because you have more territory battle points to deploy, but it's just so many ships are unusable until you have an actual fleshed out fleet for them. So like if you're going to go this route, you know, when you are unlocking your rebel fleet, then those are the ones you invest your credits in. And if along the route you happen to unlock like a 7-star Sith bomber or TIE dagger or something, ignore it. Just ignore it. Unless you are actively going to use it, do not put any credits in it. You have to be very, very focused. This game is more than anything resource management. It really is. Hey, speaking of resources, is there a use from JBlaw for Sith ships, including Fury, if you don't have Leviathan unlocked? And that's a really good question. And to the best of my knowledge, yes and no. 4 yes, 4 no. The Sith bomber, the B extinction bomber, is really, really good against rebel fleets because of the perpetual daze that it inflicts, shuts down assists. Home 1 especially, Profundity, both require lots of assists. So you put this one in as a starter against Profundity, and then you put in the TIE Bomber as your first reinforcement, and Profundity will never get assists. Nobody on the team will get an assist. And then you don't use TIE Bomber strafe burning attack its first time, because when it reinforces, it'll put the burn on everybody, and then you on its second turn, then you reapply it. So between these two ships, yeah, you can generally knock out Profundity. Dagger goes well on First Order, but it's not a game changer. TIE Taxi, TIE Advance 1 with Vader, and Emperor Shuttle are both just really, really, really good ships anyway, and they both have absolute places in both Tarkin or Thrawn's fleets, depending on your lineup and who you're trying to attack with it. The other 4, I personally can't think of a great home for them. Now, I've heard people saying that they're beating Leviathan with Profundity using the Mark 6 Interceptor as a reinforcement. I do not understand that, and I'm really wondering if I'm hearing that wrong, misread it, or remember wrong. But I can't picture a good place for those ships, especially Mauls, sad to say. Who would I recommend as the 5th for an Aphra squad that includes her 2 droids, and Vader? Well, as I don't have Aphra, I'm not a great resource on this, so I went over to SWGOH, and these are the most common attacks last 5v5 that people made with Aphra, and this is kind of why I don't have Aphra, because most people are using Aphra to attack what should generally be pretty easily defeatable characters. In GAC, bugs, especially at the Kyber level where my account exists, bugs are not hard to beat. Murder bears are not, because most people don't know how to mod them. Although mine, I'm not joking, you can go check out GAC in a week at history on SWGOH.gg. I just got 6 holds today, Kyber 2 with my murder bears. In fact, they just won me the round again. Yeah, gotta mod them right. But yeah, I mean, like, Zori Finn is a really, really good team. That one kind of makes sense, but there are just too many ways to beat these squads, and I never ever see Tuskens on defense anymore. So I don't know. It looks like most people are putting in, I think that's, I can't tell if that's IG. It's one of the IG droids, and I'm not familiar with the new pictures yet, but it's definitely one of the IG droids. It's like all the way down the line here. Yeah, there's BT 000, and that looks like IG. I think that's the bounty hunter, the black one, but I'm not entirely sure. Hey, Death Scythe, do I think that CG is setting up for Fleet Lifter? So yeah, we already talked about this. Yes, Fleet Lifter coming soon. Hey, Gerbil, would you make a new crazy farming guide? See, like I said, this just keeps coming up over and over and over again. Hey folks, I hear you loud and clear. I will work on that. It's a big job. Farming guides, man, they're just so complicated. There's 360 characters and so many game modes. It's complicated. Yeah, I'll work on that. Okay, thank you. I will. And then we only got 2 questions left, I think. No, 3. Hey, has anyone tried the attacker riposte Datacron on a team with BAM? And my answer is no, because I typically use BAM when I'm attacking Lord Vader, and Lord Vader doesn't have protection. So riposte ignores protection, if I remember right. So it didn't do any good there. Now, I've tried it on a number of other attacking squads like CLS, and I have yet to be impressed with it. I honestly have not even paid attention enough to see if it's even working right. I have like 7 attack riposte Datacrons, and I don't see anything happening that makes me go, ooh, I like this one. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Unacceptable as punishment for the late video. This one's not really a question. Sorry, I haven't been posting my Q&As as regularly as you would like. It says you will have to watch it personally and leave an outrageous comment. Good. Hey, Darth Kiki. I like that name. Is there a way of using Home 1 with the Phoenix ships, and how can I punch up in my fleet? Yeah, of course, Phoenix ships work. And there are people who swear by them, but I don't. No, sorry. The Phoenix ships, they just don't have the viability. They don't put out enough target lock. They do go into stealth, but they're squishy. One of the things that the Raven's Claw does is it provides, I think, 40% more health and protection or something outrageous to the team for each rebel ally. So if you take out anything and you leave him in there as a starter, then you don't have a tank and you're going to get blitzed down. You're also going to be a lot slower. You need Biston to open up with a target lock. And if you have Wide Wing in there, you're breaking the synergies I talked about before between target lock and foresight. So you almost have to have either Han's Millennium Falcon and Big / Biston as your starting lineup. Now, Biston needs to be relic high to be fast. He should be really darn fast to go first in mini battles, triggering the taunt, protecting your team. I highly recommend the top one here, starting with the Claw, Biggs, Biston. First reinforcement is often the only one you need. Falcon comes in, puts foresight on the whole team, allowing you to bypass taunt and ignore taunt completely. Then he calls everyone to assist, typically killing the target that you've, whoever you had tapped on before he comes in. Then by that virtue of ignoring taunt, you just kill everyone else. Because when you basic, the Falcon's going to call assist. If he happens to call an assist on the Raven's Claw, then he's going to double tap. If they've got foresight up, they're both going to start cleansing on basic. So you're just going to be cleansing and assisting like mad. It's ridiculous. Like, it's just ridiculous. Even though the Raven's Claw specifically has anti-scoundrel synergies in there, the Falcon does not. The Falcon works real well with Raven's Claw. Raven's Claw, less so, but the Falcon can still randomly assist and do other shenanigans. They actually work quite well together, despite the antis. So anyway, the more common starter though, the one that traditionally everybody grew up with learning to use, was Falcon, Biggs, Biston. First reinforcement is going to be Cassian, because you need to cleanse the enemy team 99% of the time, or you want the double crit chance, 100 critical damage assist, or the ally cleanse from Cassian. That delays the reinforcement of the Claw, which I think is really, really unfortunate. So I wouldn't go that way. The top one is better once you get the practice. Anyway, folks, this has been 41 minutes and I am done talking. I don't think anybody's sticking around to the end. If you are, let me know. I'd be utterly shocked and surprised. But y'all know the drill. If any of this was helpful, give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me a thumbs up, whatever. I appreciate it. And post your questions in Discord, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.